In this video, I will be looking at the final scene of 15 Million Merits to look at how the director used color scheme and cycling camera angles to capture the internal conflict people face with morality. A prominent feature of the final scene, 15 Million Merits, is the hard contrasting colors of black, white, and gray in the scenery and costuming. In the first part of the scene, we see that Bing's house is primarily white, with only contrasting color being black in his set. Throughout the scene, the black and white create different balances, but it is evident that the black set holds only a minority of space in the room. This is an intentional design. The black set takes up only a minority of space because it is a physical manifestation of the guilt that Bing feels for selling out and joining the elite class. Even though Bing lives comfortably, he will always have the physical reminder of the morally skewed decisions he made to obtain it. Throughout the whole episode, viewers see Bing dressed solely in gray. Even when he's moved into his new bougie apartment, he's still dressed in his typical gray jumpsuit. As viewers start to see Bing cope with his guilt in the end of the scene, the context of his gray outfit begins to sink in. Gray is a mixture of both black and white, therefore being the neutral of the two. The aesthetic that the gray jumpsuit against the black and white scenery creates relays Bing is a neutral position in the relation to morality, and that the gray he feels is the mixture of good and bad that he feels about the decisions that he's made. Gray is a rather ambiguous color. It is not clear-cut like black or white. Some grays have such little black in them that they seem to be white, and others have such little white that they seem to be black. Gray is neither black nor white, but a random mixture of the two, similar to morality. Similarly, Bing is not just good or bad, but a composite of both, landing him in a rather gray area, as are most people. Next, I'll talk about the shot selection. The shot selection in this particular scene is very dynamic and gives greater depth to the character himself. It moves from a high angle to a low angle and finally to a flat angle. The first angle, or angles I should say, I'm going to talk about here are the high angles. In the first shot, the audience starts off from a high angle look at Bing finishing up his podcast. This is the first time the audience has seen Bing in his new flat. The high angle shot here gives the audience the chance to look at Bing from a bird's eye view and make a few quick speculations on Bing's morality. The shot here is also a little bit of a follow shot and gives the audience more time to absorb Bing's new reality. The audience then moves into a second high angle shot. Unlike the first, this shot is somewhere between an over the shoulder and a point of view, nudging the audience into thinking about the decisions Bing has made through his own perspective. The low angle shot is probably the most interesting shot of the whole scene. From below, we see Bing looking at his wooden penguin figurine with a very severe and somber look. The low angle here helps to understand that this is a very introspective moment for Bing, and he is momentarily taking a very in-depth look at himself and the events that have led him to his new life. The second half of the shot is a soft focus on Bing that shifts to a soft focus on the wooden penguin. This shift in focus gives the scene an even greater sense of drama, forcing the audience to focus on the penguin and make the connection it has symbolically to Bing's former lover. Similar to the two shots before, the high and the low, the flat angle shot is comprised of almost two shots in itself. You first begin with a shot that starts off as a high angle and slightly and slowly starts to shift down to the flat angle. Much like the first two high angle shots, this shot is supposed to help the audience understand that there's a shift being made. In this case, it's a shift in Bing's emotions where he's starting to come to terms with what he's done and is starting to come to peace with it. The final shot is a flat, wide-angle shot with Bing centered, looking out into a lush and peaceful natural landscape. This wide, flat angle is very calm and is supposed to relay the same feeling to the audience. This final shot shows that while Bing struggles with his decisions he has made, he has found some peace and is able to live with himself at the end of the day.